Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your modelers have practically built themselves. Hello folks, it's Mad Dog Merv and welcome to today's show. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I got to thinking there's a lot of, I've been modeling for, 55 years now. It's been a long time. And so before I started the channel, there was a lot of modeling that I did. And within about 5 years or so before I started the channel, there was actually a lot of really cool things that I did that, as I've been thinking, I never got to show you guys. Some of the things I never got pictures of because it was in that time frame, late 90s, early 2000s, before I had a digital camera. And yeah, I would take some pictures with either an Instamatic or a nice 35 millimeter, but then I have to convert them to digital so that I can show them to you. And so I've got boxes of pictures and only some that I've digitized. So today we're going to go over some of those. Want you guys to know, yes, I do build airplanes, or at least I used to build a lot of airplanes. But there's some projects that I think you'll find interesting. So stick with Mad Dog Merv as we look at some of my builds from before the Mad Dog Merv days.
Here in part one, we're going to cover a few of the model car builds that I've done in the last 20 years that you guys haven't seen. So to start out here, this is an AAR CUDA kit that I got. Went ahead and sprayed it with my airbrush and the Sublime Green from Model Master. Turned out pretty darn good. Here's one that I used to get a lot of stuff off of eBay, and you can see I put about 18 hours into this, cleaning it up and repainting, and it turned out pretty well. This is one that I was going to do a junker, but I decided instead to try out a new paint system, which was just some Testors lacquer with a little bit of yellow in it, and that turned out really well. So this is a model of the Highway Patrol car that I got my 440 out of for my 67 GTX after I blew the motor, and I decided to take a little paddy wagon and turn it into a Highway Patrol car. I got the decals online, but I really can't remember. I think it was Chimneyville is who I got them through. Anyway, I do Chevys from time to time, believe it or not. I know we don't do it much on the channel, but I used to do a lot of Chevys as well. And there was this Camaro shortly after they came out. Went ahead and did my restoration work on this car that I got off of eBay. My son used to have a Dodge Magnum, and instead of painting it the metallic gray that his was, I decided for something a little more vivacious. And the really cool thing about this kit is it comes with speakers in the back, but it also came with this really cool guitar. Now, unfortunately, the pictures are kind of blurry because this was the early days of my doing digital photography, and yeah, so the pictures just aren't as good as they should be. But it was a neat looking car. Here's a fun one. So you guys have seen this before, but what you haven't seen is the front fenders on this are actually off of a 71 Duster, because I took the fenders off of this. You see, in order to build a proper Dodge Demon, you need the fenders, the front fenders from this particular kit. So I didn't want to throw the kit away, and I used the fenders off of a Duster. So there you go. That will be important when I get into the Demon build, by the way, just so you know. Daisy Duke's car. That was a lot of fun to build. This one was kind of a neat little build that I did. A friend of mine named Ron Starr took this photograph of the old Highland Drive-In and the parking area out in front, blew it up, and took a picture of some of my model cars in front of it, which was really neat. This is one, yes, I actually did the wiring on the engine, return spring, everything. You've got a real 80s looking, early 80s looking muscle car here. The hijacker stickers and the Utah State inspection sticker, and the good old KRSP bumper sticker from our local radio station, and a license plate from one of my old cars. So there you go, all done in miniature. I think I've shown you guys this before on the channel. This is my little red express truck, but it warrants being shown again. I'm very proud of the way this turned out, but you'll notice the inspection sticker in the front window. Here's another one I did that I think maybe you guys have seen before, maybe not. One of my few attempts at a monster truck. And this is another eBay build. Got this car without the front bumper. I still don't have a front bumper for it, but it's off it's the Grand Spalding Dart. Speaking of darts and dusters, I built a few of them, and the 71 340 kit is one of my favorites, as we've talked about before. You'll notice here, though, that grill. That grill is the one for the 70 and 71, just plain Jane standard duster. And it's a resin grill that I got. Resin cast several more of them, so I have plenty of them. But I decided to do something fun. You'll notice this has got a retractable sunroof on the vinyl top. Real nice carpet in there. I wanted to do something different as a what if they actually built a 440 duster. Now, unfortunately in this picture here I hadn't wired it yet, but you get the general idea of how I got this engineered and put in there. So what if they had done an actual 1970 440 duster? There you go. Kind of interesting to think about. And I bring this up because, well, we have a Demon build coming up that will be very interesting as well. So, yeah, looks pretty good. All right. Here's another paddy wagon that I got from somebody's junk pile and decided to go ahead and try something different. Notice the side, it says Pizza Express. I've got some little parts here from some HO scale railroad engines. I've just taken parts from different things here, and including some brass rod, but you'll notice the skull shifter on this and the radiator cap, which is like a little red barretish thing, kind of fun. But in the very back, I went ahead and set up a pizza kitchen. The oven, the overhead oven there, and the make line with all of your cabinets underneath. Thought it'd be fun to make pizza wherever you wanted to go. One of our family friends, his name's Randy, in high school drove around in a little CRX, so this was out in front of my house several times, and well, decided to build a model of it for him and give that to him so he would have it. Of course, now he's married and has a couple of kids. The good old iced tea. You guys have probably all built this at some point in time, but I love how smooth the paint went on this. This is just Testors yellow. I can't remember which yellow, like chrome yellow or something. It's a Model Master color, thinned with lacquer thinner, and you can see this thing turned out really, really well. And pretty much built it straight from the box, just added some different tires to it was all. Okay, here's another fun one. John Milner's Coupe, but this is a hodgepodge of several different kits put together to build this replica of John Milner's Coupe, because the kit is crappy, sorry to say, but I think this turned out pretty good with all the other components I put in it. 33 John Butera's 33 Coupe that I built as a tribute to a friend of mine. He had actually started this and then passed away about halfway through it, so I went ahead and finished it up for him. the Monte Carlo from Fast and Furious, or whatever that is, the Tokyo Drift one. And I never did get the hood for it, the right hood for it. A lot of folks have said this is the worst kit ever made, and I would have to agree with them. It's a pretty bad one, fit wise and everything wise. You can see this is as high as I could get it jacked up and put slicks on it because just the way the suspension is. Decided to take a 124th Camaro, build it as my son's white car that he had, although don't like how it turned out, so I turned it into a highway patrol car. And here was a 125th scale version of his red Camaro that he had in high school. I think you folks have seen this before. It's on one of the videos. It's like Tom's high school cars or something. Anyway, I think that one turned out okay. It's a good replica of his car, his first car. And this one I built. I couldn't find decals for it, so I went ahead and made my own, hand-done Macho TA. My favorite kind of Trans Am back in '78. Absolutely love it. Another Chevy. Before Baby, there was a two-door version of the '67 Impala, and you can see here again another suspension issue where I just couldn't get it up high enough in the back. All right, so this is a composite picture taken by a friend of mine named Ron Starr, and I had built this. I built all the cars, decided I wanted to do a scene at a drive-in movie, and so he photoshopped in a bunch of different things. Of course, I had done the little speakers and such. This is just a really fun picture for me because so many of these cars are cars that represent cars from high school, my friends in high school. And finally, in 25th scale, I have a packet of phone books that I've made, and on top of that packet of phone books, you have a couple of weapons that I scratch built. These are from the days when I was playing Modern Warfare and decided, hey, these would be fun to put in a pickup truck. So, all right, folks, stay tuned for part 2 coming up soon. Thanks for joining us today.